Allow me to tell you a story about a person named you. Coincidentally, it shares the same name with you. You has a family, a job, a pet to come back to. They look at themselves as an intellectual whose opinion matters. Again, coincidentally, like you, they also have a social media presence, and one fine day, you decides to publish their valuable opinion on Twitter. If this represents you and the tweet of you goes viral and starts making rounds on social media, you get the moment of fame. Unpaid activists start retweeting it for the sake of relevance, and a lot of people reply. Somehow it reaches a government official and the very system you was against. Anyways, for obvious reasons, the system doesn't like it. But instead of tweeting their opinion like everyone else, they decide to flag your tweet. Use tweet. And within hours, the tweet is flagged as misinformation. Ministry informs Twitter about it, and it is taken down from Twitter. So now is the time for a quick question. Whatever happened here, can it be called censorship? You might have varied opinions on it. All of us can at least agree that this is too much power in the hands of the government. And finally, you left Twitter and got a job in a BJP IT cell. Now is the time for a quick question. Whatever happened here, can it be called censorship? You might have varied opinions on it. All of us can at least agree that this is too much power in the hands of the government. Although the protagonist of a story, you, was imaginary and exaggerated, it can be any of us. This is just a small part of the larger issue we are going to discuss today. Today, we'll be talking about the draft Digital India Bill 20XX. This XX is not sex related. Hold on to your curiosity about why it is 20XX. For now, there is a little bit about the bill. So the draft Digital India Bill is an ambitious, yet to be tabled bill of the Indian government. The bill is believed to be the successor of the IT Act 2000. This is said to be a legal, comprehensive framework that would oversee everything, even vaguely related to the internet. It would cover the 10,000-year-old dead meme your friend Animesh keeps sending to your over-enthused friend who keeps losing money investing in the latest meme coin.
I had to stop watching Wolf of Wall Street and had to start living it. Nice. Hey, green means good, right?
In its official document, the government also mentions that it wishes to guarantee digital rights to its citizens. Digital users' rights include the right to be forgotten, the right to secure electronic means, the right to redressal, the right to digital inheritance, and the right against discrimination. In simple words, it is one bill for all our digital needs. That's it, right? Now I can freely surf through kinky subreddits for educational purposes, right? No, here's where things get a little complicated. Although, as we speak, no draft of the bill has been made available by the government, presently, most of our digital scape is governed by the IT Act of 2000, which seems archaic in today's world. The act is so old that I am 1 year younger than it. It was enacted when India had 5.5 million internet users. Presently, India has around 850 million internet users. In the words of Rajiv Chandrasekhar, the Union Minister of State for Electronics and Information Technology, 22 years in digital landscape is like 3 to 5 centuries in the real world. Hence, in a way, we are using 500-year-old bill to govern the digital scape of the world's most connected democracy. Another pivotal point to understand here is that there is no draft of the bill. I don't know why. I guess the bill is too shy to come out in the public. All we have currently are a lot of rhetoric around the much anticipated Digital India Bill. Brace yourself for a lot of legal mumbo jumbo. Don't worry, I'll definitely dumb it down for you. The rules include notified amendments and draft amendments. The notified amendments suggest 2 modifications. First, intermediaries must ensure compliance with rules and regulations, privacy policy, user agreement, and make reasonable effort to cause users not to create, upload, or share prohibited content, thereby abiding by the constitutional rights of the users. However, The notified amendments also enable intermediaries to control and regulate content at their own discretion, even though they may not be the right fit for it. That will, in turn, impact the freedom of speech of the user. Let me just simplify it. What it means is that Elon Musk, sitting with all his IQ in his Twitter office, can actually take down any of your tweets, much researched and opinionated, from Twitter on the basis that it's against the government's policies or against the constitution. Similarly, if you have a feud with your local MLA can also contact Twitter office and pull down any of your tweets. But that is not all. Draft amendments, which we momentarily spoke about earlier, propose 4 suggestions: prohibit fake information and also regulate online gaming. Yes, online gaming. Intermediaries must remove any information identified as false by the fact check unit of the Press Information Bureau, PIB, or any other centrally authorized agency from their platform to avoid liability for such content online. Thirdly, online games are defined as games played on the internet with a deposit and the expectations of winning, which the government will be regulating. So basically, we are saying that online games can hamper the safety and security of the country. That's great. However, there are other major concerns around the draft amendments too. The draft amendments violate Article 19 by regulating content on the grounds of being false. False information is not a constitutional ground for restricting free speech. Basically, it is not illegal to lie. Hypothetically, it is not illegal to lie to your girlfriend that you are on your way while you are still on the bed, right? Apart from that, by empowering an executive body to cause the removal of content without any safeguards in place, say criticism of the government, which is fundamental to democracy, may be removed without adequate checks and balances. Several intermediaries already regulate misleading information through voluntary fact-checking. For instance, Twitter users can leave notes on any tweet, and if enough contributors from different points of view rate that note as helpful, the note will be publicly shown on a tweet. During the run-up to the 2020 presidential elections in the United States, Twitter updated its civic integrity policy, which labels tweets that make false claims about polling booths, election rigging, ballot tampering. Such content is either prohibited or flagged as misleading, depending on the severity of violating Twitter's policy. This is how the intermediaries identify disinformation as false information which is shared with the intent of causing public harm. As explained in the story of You, with the release of the notified and the draft amendments to the IT Act, there is a newfound fear of the government censoring the citizen. Now let's jump to the second part of the Digital India Bill. In the digital age, our lives can increasingly be reduced to various data points, such as what we post on social media, the food we order, the cabs we take, purchases we make, our bank accounts, our mobile numbers, people we match with on dating profiles, etc. These data points, when collated, can create a comprehensive profile of an individual.
Everything they're doing online is being watched, is being tracked, is being measured. Every single action you take is carefully monitored and recorded.
Thus, it is essential that access and use of our information are regulated to ensure that the information we provide is not misused. The Supreme Court of India, while stating that informational privacy is an important facet of the right to privacy under the fundamental right to life, emphasized that the Union government should examine and put into place a robust regime for data protection. The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology released the draft Personal Data Protection Bill 2022 on November 18, 2022 for public consultation. Congrats guys, I guess this bill is not as shy as the Digital India Bill. The bill grants certain rights to individuals, including the right to obtain information, thief erection, erasure, grievance redressal, and others. Apart from that, the central government may exempt government agencies from application of the provisions of this bill in interest of specified grounds such as security of the state, public order, and prevention of offences. The bill fails to address data protection concerns adequately and instead puts in place a regime to facilitate the data processing activities of state and private actors. It is disappointing that this new bill fails to include the extensive comments and feedback that had been received and collated from various stakeholders through the years as a part of the consultation process for the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2021. Instead, the notice accompanying the the new bill which is out in 2022 states that comments received on the proposal will not be disclosed publicly. This mars the entire consultation process and lowers public confidence in the development of this proposal. The next major concern about the Digital India Bill. Do you remember I told you that your curiosity for 20XX would be quenched a little later? Yeah. Well, like Master Uwe has said,
The time has come.
the Digital India Bill has been talking for the past couple of years now, but there's no timeliness attached to it. This bill is basically taking longer than an average Hindi serial to end. A concept note was supposed to be released in May 2022, but everyone waited in vain. 5 months and a missing bill later, the Minister of State, IT, in an interview shared that the DIB, Digital India Bill, will be released by early 2023. In the following months, several media reports kept coming stating that the bill would be released, but there was no trace of the bill. The MOSIT again cleared some smoke by stating that the bill would be released by the end of December 2022, thus reportedly advancing its release. However, the shifting of goalposts continued and nothing was released in December also. The last update on the bill was that it would be tabled in the monsoon session, but it is nowhere to be found. So now you know why I called it 20XX. Because we don't know by when it will see the light of the day. I'm very hopeful though that by the time you have your children, this bill would be out. I'm not sure though, but it should be. Now comes the most important part. We don't ask for much, but we do need a more nuanced bill in place. We need something that's not a jack of all trades and master of none. Instead, we need a bill that grants us the basic digital reforms, but with a proper definition, with proper timeline as to what they plan to do and when they plan to do. We do demand more thorough consultation from the public because at the end of the day, that's who is the bill and the government supposed to be by, for, and of. What we need is more transparency. We need to know whether or not our bills work in our favor. Because haven't we seen enough chaos and injustice during the farm bills of 2020? If you want us to be a lady in the streets, might as well let us be freaky in the sheets. We mean the sheets we use to draft our bills. That's it. Above all, we demand safety and security as citizens of an ever-developing nation. Because for long enough, they have been the government of people and by the people. We think it's time for them to be the government for the people. The whole purpose of making this lengthy video, going through all the legal mumbo jumbo and a lot of data, was to make you aware about the Digital India Bill and the problems it has. Now it's in the hand of the public to get mobilized, tell the government what they want from the bill